to No Ideas Original with Shannon, the good brother, and we actually have a guest,
A special
with us,
guest.
Dane, and we're joined today by Arash Malek. What's up, Arash? How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm good, man. Alive. How are you?
I'm doing
Good to
well.
see you.
Where you currently at now?
I'm in Berkeley, California right now.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. I'm in Connecticut, but I'd rather be where you are.
Yeah, I know the weather.
Ditto.
I know the weather's great over there, right?
Yeah, it's great. It's always good.
So-
I'm out in Maryland.
All right.
So you're involved currently, you're involved in a number of projects, but nothing more timelier than what you're doing with the face shields. How hard was it for you to pivot from doing your thing with Scent Wedge, and I know you have involvement with Tesla also, to now making these face shields?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was a moment of just realizing that, if the medical professionals, contract COVID, and whether they get seriously ill or not, they're still out of the game for like 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the moment of realization that just, I realized I had the tools to do something, and I had the design background to do something. So, I mean, doing nothing would have been the wrong thing to do, So
Right.
it was literally just a moment of realization. And the next day I was making face shields or working on the design. And so the design itself took like a week to try and, make something that's super efficient and cost effective and easy to produce.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it was just straight to production, making as many as I could, and iterating along the process along the way too. Lots of iterations. So I think by the end of it, I had 3 different iterations while in production, and so yeah, and just based on feedback from all the people that were using it, and along the way, like increasing efficiency as well. The from the beginning, the plastic that I was using, was really unorthodox for face shields. It was, the screen itself was made from overhead projector sheets that I, remember back
Wow,
in
outta
elementary
here.
school. And the plastic that I was using was, acrylic that wasn't yet being used for, these screens. But now a lot of the acrylics being used for divider screens at stores, so it's becoming a problem. It's becoming a problem. And so that kind of shifted me to iterate and redesign a little bit to be able to use any size thickness of plastic, because I was using 3/16 before. But that it's become very popular for, the countertop or the counter dividers. So,
Yeah.
At the checkouts. So, I mean, the process for me was just, it was very intuitive. It was very fast in a way, like everything kind of came together really, really fast. And, it was a product of, desperation, really,
Yeah.
just trying to do something. And,
Did you collaborate with anybody in putting the design together, or was it just you that?
no, it was just me. It was basically, so it was me coming up with the design, and then I had a friend who's a respiratory therapist who I hit up and just had him try it on,
Smart.
just so we could get it on a different head, and also just see how it fits and if it's, beneficial. Once he gave me the green light is when I actually ran to production to start making them. But yeah, I mean, originally, it was based off feedback from him for sure. Yeah, I mean, it was really important to make it reusable because, most face shields with the foam forehead piece aren't reusable because you can't sterilize it. So the idea was to create something that's super affordable, super cheap, and also, non-porous. So nothing,
Right.
it doesn't absorb anything. You can easily
Right. You
down.
can reuse it.
Yeah, you can reuse it, exactly. And then also all the parts are designed to be snapped off and replaced as needed. So it was really to reduce the waste. And I had no idea how wasteful the medical industry was until I started looking into face shields. And I was like, wow. Yeah, so, that was really eye-opening. Yeah.
What's the cost associated with manufacturing one of them? Like how much?
Yeah, so it was around $3. Was what I estimated, but that was before I included shipping or anything, and so the true cost with shipping was $5. But I didn't I didn't reflect that didn't reflect on the pricing or anything up until like the last 2 weeks that I was taking donations. So what I did is I converted the whole website over to just be about face shields, and I was taking donations from the general public to just pay for the material cost, and I was covering the cost of shipping and volunteering my time and everything. So so the material cost was around $3, but then shipping it all across the U.S. on average it was around another $2 per shield. So it added up a lot. I actually still don't know the exact amount that I've contributed financially, but that's something that I need to figure out at some point. But
yeah, you do.
I just kind of don't want to find out until we're all through this. But yeah, it's significant. I mean, just not including time or anything, but just hard cost of shipping and packaging. But it was good, man. I mean, it was really nice. I mean, the thank you notes that I get are, really nice, and people really needed them, and that was the thing that kind of caught me off guard. Is I thought maybe a few face shields here and there, people need them locally, but I got a lot of requests from the East Coast actually.
Nice.
Because we warriors on this side of town, we going through the hell over here, man.
Yeah. And now I think it's going to happen here because we don't have the herd immunity. So it's hopefully. I mean, I don't know, but it's scary. But so as of this is the last week I'm actually shipping out face shields. Like I know there's like a stockpile now. I'm getting ads for face shields on Instagram. So it's like, I think now if people need face shields, they can get face shields. And so that's kind of why I'm stopping, and I'm going to go back to doing what I was doing. Yeah. Means do I want to, get in the face shield business or anything like that? So I'm excited about that. And I mean, the whole idea was to basically, raise funds from people that are able to contribute, and then give them away for free to anybody that actually needs them. And so the intake form, it was filled out by people on the front line that needed them. They expressed their level of urgency, and it's just based on trust. And it was really cool, man. It was really cool to see that. People weren't just trying to hoard everything over. Everybody was very honest about their urgency level.
That's good.
It was crazy because it was 1 through 5, and a lot of 5s were coming out from the East Coast, and I was like, wow, like it correlates.
New York City.
Yeah.
Wow. New York City was hit very hard. In particular, Queens. Queens in New York City was hit very hard. It was like in New York.
Yeah, some hospitals there. I mean, it was. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would say over half of the shields that I made went out to the East Coast, maybe more than half. And up front, it was the majority of them were going to the East Coast. And just outside of Chicago too was hit pretty hard too. Shipped a lot there too. But yeah, I mean, it was intense for sure. Yeah, but it was really like, I mean, I think it just really stemmed out of just, being, sorry about that.
Is that Layla?
Yeah, that's Layla. No, Layla, come on.
What's up, Layla?
There we go. But yeah, it was really just out of like a feeling of like feeling hopeless, and helpless to, figuring out a way to help, and then that was like really good mentally for myself to be distracted with, the chaos of what's going on. Okay, like I'm trying to be part of the solution. I'm trying to help out, and seeing everybody else come together, and help out as well was pretty cool.
Definitely was a time that's easy to become negative, or to, as a result of everything that's going on, a lot of people's mental health has come into question, with everything that's going on, have been jeopardized as a result of everything.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you think about it too, like you're in quarantine and you're not really socializing with people, and all you have is the television in front of you and the news, and everybody just wants to,
and it's horrible.
Yeah, it's bad. And it's just, it's very hard to feel hopeful,
Right. That's right.
And so, you know, a lot of people are just like, okay, well, I can't do anything. So they stopped watching the news. And yeah, I figured there's definitely, I mean, in a very, very small way, I could do something, you know? So
That's right.
that was the route.
Well, I tell you what, I was doing some pretty extensive research on you, and I tip my hat off, man. No, seriously, man, because you donated a heck of a lot of face shields to a whole bunch of hospitals, man.
Mm.
And I saw the list. Actually, I think it was on Twitter. It was a picture of all the of you know, like a big number of hospitals that you guys had sent the mask to. I tip my hats off to you guys, man. You guys are doing some very heroic efforts out there. A lot of people out there, you know, that you know, lost family members, friends.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, New York been hit hard, man. The whole East Coast, but New York was the epicenter for a while. And I tell people, man, New York for a long time, and us three being New Yorkers can attest to this. New York was a very, very filthy city, man. Anything can live in New York, man. So it didn't surprise me with the numbers and knowing the lifestyle of New York. You know, we got food deserts here, so people aren't eating healthy. So they're more compromised immune systems here. So it's just, you know, it's crazy, man.
Yeah. No, I remember. Yeah, New York was definitely hit the hardest, I think, and yeah. But I think, I mean, I think you guys are doing a great job now. I mean, I think
things have calmed down.
Things have changed there, but for sure, I think here, you know, there might be some trouble, but yeah, I mean, it's just crazy though now too, because now you got so many, you know, conspiracy theories and people just going against the grain.
Yeah, the truth is starting to come out.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
After your neighbors, or maybe they were already aware, after your neighbors were made aware that you were in fact making these face shields, did they still complain about the smell?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I had it's funny that you say that. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, they, it was actually really eye-opening, and I mean, I'm trying not to have any type of animosity towards him, but you know, I explained everything to him. I tried to, you know, be very civil about it, and you know, I told him that these are all being donated. Like he had this idea in his head that I was running a business operation out of my garage, you know, and I was like, because you know, I was shipping so much out that he was thinking that, you know, I'm thriving right now and like, you know, it's a business and I'm booming, and you know, and I told him like, these are for donation. Like, go to the website, check it out. You know, like, you know, the news crew came to the house too one day, and he saw me and he was like, wow, like, you know, he was pretty annoyed by that for sure. But I think, so, I mean, he had reason to be annoyed. Like, cutting plastic is like really, it smells really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I guess that the houses are situated is all the fumes were going and getting trapped in his backyard.
Oh.
And he was drying his clothes in the backyard, him and his wife. I guess they were starting to smell like the plastic. You know, so I had to improvise. I mean, I tried a lot of things to create my own filter to try and somehow, you know, mitigate the smell. And, you know, I tried a bunch of different things, but ultimately, you know, I just had to fork up the cash and buy like a filtration system. Just so, you know, he doesn't call the city on me, because you know, he threatened that multiple times and pulled out his phone, and I was like,
You don't want to get shut down. You don't want.
I was just like, well, I mean, yeah, and you know, you don't want the city involved, because obviously
that really
there's a lot of jimmy rigging that goes on in my garage. Let's just put it that way. I don't want the city to come through and be like,
what you doing over here, champ? What you got going on over here?
That really makes you, though, that's unfortunate for humanity, though, that if somebody's putting forth that kind of charitable efforts and then somebody says,
no.
He said, I don't care. He's straight up said, I don't care. You know, I was just like, wow, like, okay.
That's how you feel.
Yeah, he straight said, I don't care. Like, wow, really? Like, Yeah. Okay.
So what do you by design? What are you an architect?
I studied architecture. Yeah. So I went to architecture school, and I practiced in a firm for like 6 months after I graduated, and it just wasn't the lifestyle for me. So
were you creating model buildings with vanishing points?
Yeah, that's the 2-point perspective drawings and stuff. Yeah. I was really into, actually what drew me to architecture was on a humanitarian level, was to create some type of semi-permanent housing, for people that live on the streets, that's pretty mobile and sanitary and clean, and it's like a compromise between sculpture, like sculptures in the park that are inhabitable, but that's what really attracted me to it. And then the reality was funding for things like that is pretty
intense.
Impossible. And it's just like, most of the work, if you want to make a living, is either you design high rises, or you're doing high-end residential,
right.
And that's just okay. Like, that's cool. Like, I enjoy spaces like that, but there's a certain amount of feeling of guilt that comes along with that. It's like, so that's ultimately why I pivoted away from that, and just fell in love with the tangibility of just smaller products and being able to enhance people's lives through design in a small way.
That's right.
And along the lines, I picked up photography and video and storytelling through videos, and
you got a good eye, man. I like some of your joints, man. You got a good eye, man.
I appreciate
good stuff, man. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's it almost sounds like that you went into architecture, but I do get like a very much a humanitarian feel from
on top of it. That's right.
In architecture, the money is really in building high rises. It's not much money in building, things for humanitarian efforts, unless you're building a building in honor or a name of somebody or something like that. Then, So
I mean, you always are relying on a patron, right? Somebody with a lot of money to pay up, and for me, that just wasn't what I wanted to do. I would much rather, be able to design something that's obtainable to the masses, to everybody, and then that's really the essence of the modern movement, modernism, minimalism. It's about reducing, the excess so that you can actually, make things affordable for people. But it's been twisted up right now, and it's you got stores like Design Within Reach that's like far out of reach. It's like but those principles arise out of making something that's utilitarian. And so it's sad. So I do want to revisit that at some point of my life and just kind of
I mean, with all the other endeavors that you have, maybe you'll be the one that actually puts the funding behind your humanitarian efforts and make those, the things that you have in your life.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a project that I've been thinking about a lot. We have many parks here in Berkeley. One's People's Park. That's just lots of tents. People living in tents, and the idea would be really cool to create something that's like a permanent kind of solution at that park that's also sculptural and beautiful to everybody around there, but then it's also inhabitable and sanitary, and healthy, and and San Francisco too. San Francisco is bad. There's human feces on the streets and people just step over it. It's like, that's not
sound like New York in the 80s.
Yeah, like how can you be used to that?
That sound like 40 dudes, son, in the 80s.
New York in the 80s.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like, I think San Francisco is like the only place on earth where your dog has a higher chance of stepping in human feces than you have in stepping in dog. Yeah. So it's like,
that's crazy, son.
That is crazy.
That's a fact. That's a fun fact that I'll probably never forget.
I'll never forget that, son.
I don't know who told me that, but I was like, I got it instantly. I was like, wow, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
It's sad, man. It really is. And I feel like there's a lot of opportunity to do something, you know, to try and be helpful on that front.
Yeah. So talk to us, because I know you also do some work with Tesla, right?
Yeah, I've done some work in the past. Yeah, some consulting stuff in the past. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I'm a huge Tesla fan. You guys can't tell I got some Tesla stuff in
the Model 3.
Yeah, this is the Model 3. So when you like reserved it early on, they sent you like a sketch.
Nice.
It's a nice looking car, man.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. And the thing is with the Model 3, you know, and the reason I like it so much is it's designed to be, you know, the most affordable Tesla. You know, and
yeah, very value retention.
And I appreciate that so much. Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's the whole concept of less is more, but it actually is applied to, you know, actually transferring that down to the end consumer, you know.
Yeah, so, it's the best vehicle sold in the automotive world.
Yes, 100%, 100%. And, you know, it started out when the 3 came out at around 60, and now you can get it at 35.
Right.
And I'm sure, like, as time goes by, as there's more vertical integration, like, it'll even get lower than that. And it's like, you know, why would anybody buy a Mercedes or a BMW or any other type of car, you know, in that $35,000 price range when you can get a Tesla? It's like a no-brainer, you know, but still a lot of people like, you know, the engine sound and getting gas and stuff. But I mean, it's just like, it's crazy to me, you know. It's like the experience of driving it, the silence, the instant acceleration, the self-driving, like all the features that it has that, you know, there's no advertising for, you know. It's like, it's crazy. The car sells itself.
Talk a little bit about Layla and how Layla inspired you with the inference.
Yeah, so yeah, let me Layla. She heard her name, so she
We'll make Layla a star right now. What's up, Layla?
Hey, Layla.
Look at her, son.
She's
pretty self, man. Them pretty eyes.
Yeah, we used to go running a lot, you know, when I got her at the dog park, and she used to go roll around in like this sulfuric mud, so it smells like rotten eggs. Yeah. The car would smell like rotten eggs all the time, and I'd have people in the car, and they'd be like, "What's this?
What's going on here?"
It stinks. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not a good, you know, role model when it comes to car maintenance, because my car is literally like a sandbox. You know, with the 2 dogs, and I just have the back seats permanently down, and we go to the beach a lot. But they were like, "Yeah, man, like your car stinks," you know. So, and this was like early on too. You know, this was like 2 weeks after taking delivery of the car, and it's like, man, like I need to do something. And the interior of the car is like super minimal.
Right.
I have a very sensitive sense of smell as well. I can't. Like I get headaches with a lot of perfume, or like anytime you get in an Uber and they have like the little gel packs under the seat and little trees, I get a headache. And so, you know, it just organically kind of started out by, you know, me just making something for myself, you know, and I just posted on Facebook, and I was like, "What do you guys think?" And everybody was like going crazy and like hella excited, and I was like, "Oh shit, okay." Like, I was like, "Okay,
check it out."
Just like that, right?
You know, I had like a little list, and I was like, "If anybody wants to try it out, you know," and it was crazy. So that, what's funny is originally I had the wedge into the air conditioning slot vertically, and so you know, it was wedged in there vertically, and it was like a rectangular piece. So it was pretty big. And, you know, over the night, you know, it got cold, so it contracted, and then it fell flat. And so in the morning, I didn't realize it. And as I backed up, it fell into the vent. Oh. And I was like, "Oh, shit, that's the problem." You know, so I was like, I was thinking some more. And then it just hit me. I was like, holy shit. Because there's two vents. There's one that's like the main vent, and then there's one that's a horizontal vent that blows air up. And I was like, oh shit, I place it horizontally onto the secondary vent. And then that way there's no way it's gonna, fall into anything. Yeah. And if it does fly out, the air that's coming out of the main vent will push it back, out.
Right. That's right.
And so it just worked like that. And I was like, wow, that's cool. And it was legit a shower thought. And which is like pretty funny because I was, I like to think in the shower, but I was like, that was one of the best ones because I was like, damn, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
And
I thought the concept was good. I mean, pardon me, Zane. I thought the concept was good because, like you said, smell is the most sensitive of senses.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, yeah, this guy is creating people to drive comfortably because when you smell something good, it triggers your memory.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, so when you smell like, oh, I remember when I was a kid. I might want to drive an extra hour now because I'm driving. It smells good, and my mood has changed. And smell is attached to mood.
Aromatherapy.
You're saying aromatherapy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and it's legit aromatherapy oils that I use too.
That's right, Zane.
And so it's all organic. But yeah, I mean, the whole idea was to bring the outdoors inside. For people sleeping all the time, and so. It's all nature-based, inspired smells,
That's right.
But yeah, so that was cool, and it's just a way to be like out of sight, super subtle and just out of sight, and that was the start of that. Yeah.
Not only are you a humanitarian, you're an environmentalist too, man. Because every one you buy, you get to plant a tree.
Right.
Well.
Yeah, and that was from the start too, because the wedges themselves are made of like solid wood, and so to offset that by a lot, we help with planting trees in the forest, and it's really cheap. Like anybody could do it. It's $1 to plant a tree, but not a lot of people do it, right? So it's like when you put it in collective, and it's just by default. That happens, then it's like it's cool. It's just like it's a byproduct, of getting it, and it's like it's being done, and so it's a no-brainer to me, and to just do that from the start. So
that's right.
Yeah.
And also, tell us, like, how did you get on Tesla's radar in order to present that to them? I know it was probably some barriers, or was it smooth sailing once they that concept?
Yeah, I don't know if they know about the Scent Wedge or not. The way I got on the radar was just through the photography and the videos that I was pushing out and on Twitter and Instagram. But I don't officially know if they know about Scent Wedge or not. It's I would be stoked if they did.
Dope. Yeah, nah, son. Because I'm like, I want to create my own scent too, son. I want my own.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But yeah, no, I just kind of ended up on the radar just by proxy of photographing the car, and I was photographing the car, to then for marketing purposes for Scent Wedge,
right.
And like one of the things I do is I just make a lot of wallpapers, and then people can download the wallpapers if they sign up with their email, just to build like an email list. But I was creating images anyways, so it's just like. Again, just like, what can you do with what you have, being resourceful. And so that was one of the things right there. And so just by creating a lot of images, eventually, they kind of took wind of that. They featured some of the images, a couple of times.
Nice.
And, the whole concept too is just by proxy, maybe people will come, they'll see my main account and they're like, oh, what's this Scent Wedge? And, it's like, multiple steps, that somebody would have to take to know.
Yeah.
But it's pretty, it's pretty cool, when they do that. So.
How long have you been into photography?
Oh man, I mean, I used to do a lot of landscape photography back in the day, but I mean, on and off, probably 5 years, maybe 4 or 5 years.
Man,
4 or 5 years.
4 or 5
I mean,
years.
time flies. Time flies. Time flies, though. Time flies.
Very fast.
Yeah. But I mean, I've been doing it for a while. I mean, I've always been interested in digital art, you know. But yeah, it's yeah. I mean, I've been using Photoshop probably since I've been using Photoshop probably since like senior year in high school.
Wow.
I was like one of the very early adopters of like Photoshop. I'm just like messing around, you know. But yeah, it's been crazy. Yeah.
What
I actually, yeah, so I used to actually make instrumentals. I used to make beats back in high school.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I actually bought I bought my first car selling beats.
Nice.
I produced an album or two. Actually, I produced, yeah, and it was cool, man. I mean, Bay Area, like it was
yeah.
time back then. It was awesome. It was really cool. But
How
yeah,
about that?
so
Who
from
knew?
that, I mean, I did some album art. I mean, so the Photoshop came in handy for sure. You know, but yeah, those are yeah.
What do you shoot with? What kind of camera do you use?
So right now I shoot with a Leica. I just picked this up. I'll show you.
He got some dope photography, some pictures.
I shoot with this camera right here. It's a fixed lens. You can't take it off, but it's really good glass and a really good, you know,
Nice.
Image processor.
And for those aerial views, what do you use a drone?
For the aerials, yeah. For the aerials, I use a drone. And for the longest time, I didn't have that camera, so I was just using the drone. And again, that was like a constraint that actually became a huge differentiator, you know, in the car photography area, you know.
Right.
Like I was doing a lot of drone shots because I only had a drone.
Yeah.
So it's like it was cool. I mean, it worked out.
Man, how could you pass up this picture of the Golden Gate Bridge? Shit is looking crazy, son. It's dope. This is dope right here, man.
That has to be one of your favorites.
Yeah, it is. I like that one. Wow. I'm stunned.
So where do you see Scent Wedge going? Like, what's the next step for Scent Wedge?
So I mean, I literally just started getting back into production of Scent Wedge, like this week, like Wednesday. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to scale. You know, I mean, it's kind of been scaling organically as is. But I want to create more scents. I mean, the idea is to release like 4 scents a year.
Okay.
You know, just and cycle through, and it's like this collection only lasts for, you know, this year, and the next year is like something else. You know, I'm still figuring that out, but yeah.
How did you come up with the scents you have?
I just like by my favorite places that I go. So I mean, I spend a lot of time in nature, so it's like, you know, like dry forest or like coastal forest, you know. Or I go to Big Sur a lot, you know. And actually on the packaging, I go to Twin Peaks a lot too, and I don't think a lot of people know this, but on the packaging, it's the topography of Twin Peaks. And I don't have an example over here, but on the back, there's actual geographic locations of Twin Peaks, and it's just
nice.
It's one of my favorite spots to just go and you know, focus a little bit and get the whole city in the it's a panoramic view of the city.
Fellas, we gotta get to the West Coast, fellas.
Yeah, definitely. Come through. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's right now it's wild because of COVID.
Right. Yeah, of course.
But yeah. But I think you guys can come here. I think if I come to New York now, I have to do a 2-week quarantine.
Quarantine, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And I think if you come and you go back, you got to do a 2-week quarantine. So.
Now, what phase are you guys in over there? You're still like in phase 1, phase 2?
No, I think we're stage 2. I think. Okay, yeah, a lot of restaurants have opened up.
Yeah.
Outdoor dining.
Yeah.
That's
pretty much national now. Everyone is out eating right about now.
Yeah. I mean, there's been talks of rolling back. You know, there's been talks in our state to make everybody, you know, mandatory to wear a face mask. Yeah. There's a lot of people against wearing face masks, and
Yeah. It makes you question the real and the severity of the situation, because some people totally refuse.
Yeah, and I just don't get it. I mean, it's just like, why? I mean, just cover your face. You know, it's like, why?
Just be safe. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, right. Like, you know, if there's a chance that you are preventing the spread, then why don't you do it? Like, you're not really putting yourself at harm by putting a face mask on, a cloth mask on, you know?
Right.
What are things looking like in San Francisco in terms of protests? Like, are there a lot of people out protesting?
Yeah, you know, I think there's you know, it's definitely slowed down a little bit, but I think it's still going on like one a day at least. But it seems to be a little bit kind of spontaneous, like it just happens organically in certain places. But did you guys see the Golden Gate march?
No, I didn't see that.
Pretty dope.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was I think well over 5,000 people or more.
They shut the bridge down?
Yeah, for brief moments.
For a brief moment. Wow.
And they would disperse again and cars would go through. But yeah, it was a pretty iconic sight. I was supposed to go out there actually with my buddy, and we were gonna like try and get drone coverage of it. It's really illegal.
Oh, that would have been.
It's super illegal to fly the Golden Gate, but I think it would have been a historic shot for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What's it feel like? What's it feel like to go from seeing your idea with Scent Wedge, because you were saying it's growing organically, go from an idea to now packaging, and now it's really like it's getting to the point where, I mean, you may not realize because you in it and the process and everything, but it's getting to the point where it's actually really taking off. Like, what does it feel like to see something that you visualize actually come to life, and now it's on the horizon to taking off?
Yeah. No, I mean it's definitely cool. I mean, I've never had kids, but I would imagine it's like, when your kid takes his first step or something, and then 5 years later they're running, and it's like, I'd imagine it's something similar to that, where it's, where you just, every day you're like wondering if you're going to get a sale or not. And then it's like, it becomes kind of routine, and that's pretty cool. I mean, that's really cool in that sense. And then just looking back and just seeing, the amount of progress that you've made, the changes, the iterations, because to me, like, everything is an iterative process.
Yes.
So even the Scent Wedge just changed its design, since its initial start. Super subtle changes that most people won't even notice, but so that's why I do it in batches. So reduce waste, and also if there's a significant change, then there's not a lot of sunk cost, and we have this much inventory already, so let's just keep selling obsolete because we already have it, right? Like that's why I don't want to do that. So I just make it small batches still, and then when change happens.
If there's no iteration, you become obsolete, because you aren't looking at you're not looking at your design and your product and thinking about what you can improve on it.
Right, exactly, and that's the thing. For me, it's like very important, more than anything, that because I'm so invested in it emotionally, is that people actually enjoy it and like it, and of course it's not for everyone,
Right.
Smell, design, everything like that is subjective. And occasionally there's people that are just angry and they want to get, some anger out of them. So
I thought the idea was totally ingenious, man. You're changing the driver experience. And some people don't like the drive. But if they're allowed to put a scent in there that make them relax, you might go visit their grandmother now, son.
or just make being in traffic more tolerable. Right. Bring memories through,
That's right.
But and there's some people that, just there's multiple stories. I mean, just dealing with people, in the consumer level. There's people that are just, angry at something else, and then they sometimes want to take it out on you. And that's something that I kind of got used to dealing with, because it's just, that's just like life. But it's hard to not take it personally, but
sometimes that's right.
Yeah, but
that's what, you know, you realize that's what people are going for. Like when they want you to take it personal. You know, to me, critique is fair if there's something I can grow from.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Critique. But if you go to be hurtful, I can't grow from that.
Right. I mean, constructive criticism, 100% accepted. You know, bring it. Architecture school was all about constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Every design that we did, we would have a review, and all of our peers would critique us, the professors would critique us. You know, so people would leave reviews crying, you know, because they were so hurt. But you know, the fact is, constructive criticism is good, and I wish more of that existed, you know, in real world. You know, I wish we could have constructive criticism, you know, discussions with one another, and you know, be civilized about it, and just really talk about how we can get better as a nation, you know, as people living together.
That's right. Communication.
It's wild because, you know, a lot of people aren't used to that, and they can't, there's no tolerance for it.
I think it takes a couple of things. One, it takes people to be receptive. I think another thing it takes is for people to actually
be accountable, man. Be accountable to your actions.
Yeah, accountability is one. You have to be receptive, but I also think almost like a willingness to accept that you have imperfections.
Right.
And
you have to be secure, right?
Yeah. And if a person, I was gonna say, if a person is giving constructive criticism or feedback, I've always looked at it as that person is making an investment in me because they want me to be able to improve in terms of whatever it is.
Right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's 100% it. I mean, if it's constructive criticism, then, you know, that's a positive thing. And then there's just people that want to criticize everything. You know, just put on.
They mad because they ain't think of the thought themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely some people like that. But you know, it's overall, I would say, man, people are really awesome. And, you know, at least
Thank
the
you,
people.
sir. I appreciate that.
Yeah. It's just like the people that I've been dealing with, you know, in recent times, like have genuinely been pretty awesome. And I don't know, I feel like it's the energy that's out there right now. It's kind of bringing people together and also separating.
Yeah, we're on a different wave, man. With the quarantine doing what it's done, it is reset everyone's intention, because you didn't know what your intentions were prior to that because you wasn't paying attention to it. But now you're like, I can think about what I'm about to do.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Now people are putting full thought into what they're doing, and the results are starting to show and prove, man.
Yeah.
And not to get too deep, but I'm sure you guys watched the Endgame movie for Avengers.
Yeah, I saw it.
I remember that. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with me, I think outside of the box a lot. I'm sure you guys do too. But the whole thing with the COVID stuff and all that, it definitely reminds me of the stuff that Thanos was letting the other Avengers know. It was like a reset that had to happen in order for people to come together and, you know, be under one accord and all that type of stuff going on. So a lot of these movies, they put subliminal messages out there that's very relevant to what's going on in today's society.
You can easily see the parallel. Yes, sir. That's right.
There's a lot of foreshadowing that goes on for sure. A lot of desensitization.
That too. Yep.
There's a lot of ideas that get implanted too. I mean, yeah. I generally don't like to watch TV. I don't.
I'm with you.
Too much of it is dangerous.
Yeah, it's programming.
All day, 24/7.
Gotta unplug from the matrix sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Television to me was the original algorithm without the actual algorithm, like the subliminals in television, the subliminals in movies, like, you know, like those ads that they show for like the coming attractions when you see the peanuts and the popcorn and all that. There's messaging in there for a reason.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, another thing too, right? Being that Scent Wedge was picked up by the Tesla 3 and I believe the Model Y.
Yeah, it's designed for that.
Now, Right now, being that there's so many, it's like over 500,000 pre-orders for the Cybertruck. Is that something that you willing to have your product eventually meet and get into the Cybertruck?
For sure, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. That was I had the opportunity to go to the Cybertruck event, and that was like the main thing I wanted to check out was the HVAC system on the Cybertruck, which is pretty funny because I stood in line for a while, and when it was my turn, I made sure I was in the front seat, and I paid a lot of attention to the front vent. It is different. It's different. I hope it changes a little bit, but I mean, they still have the linear design carry through. But yeah, it's definitely slightly different. But for sure, I mean, if it makes sense, functionality wise, then for sure. And I think it would be the same. So yeah.
Nice.
Now that Cybertruck definitely reminds me of something that would have been in the movie Mad Max with Mel Gibson back in the day.
Oh yeah. When it rolled out on stage, I mean, people were shocked. Like,
wow,
really shocked.
That's gonna be on the street soon. Like, Jesus.
They were shocked. A lot of people thought that the actual design was behind the panels. They thought that this was like they were gonna remove the panels and then show the car. And it was like, that's the car. It's like, wow. Yeah. And like when I saw it, I loved it because I came from an architecture background, and like one of my favorite buildings is a Seattle Public Library, and it's a tessellated building. And I was like, this is dope. This is
you can appreciate the design.
Yeah. And I had like in architecture school, I designed like a building that was very similar and faceted like that and triangular, and I loved it. So when I saw that, I was pretty stoked, but everyone around me was just like, it took a minute to register, and it's grown on a lot of people now too.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Scent Wedge is currently, if somebody wants to pick up a Scent Wedge, is currently available only online through the Scent Wedge website?
Yes, yeah, just through scentwedge.com. And yeah, you could pick up a sample pack or whatever. And then the other thing is too that I do is because you can't really gauge smell, from words or video. So it's like if for whatever reason you get it and you don't like it, all you do is send an email and it's like an instant refund and you keep it. So, and in the beginning, like people were like, really? Like, what if people take advantage of that and just abuse it? And I honestly haven't noticed that. Maybe a couple of times here and there, but it's, if you can only do that once,
right.
Let's
can't abuse it, right?
And if you're in that case where you have to create multiple emails to do that, then, go for it.
The good thing about having a good product is that you know your audience, man.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
Yeah, and the other thing is too, like, because it's so narrow, it's a very small audience. It's like
right.
It's not all the cars. It's not even all the Teslas. It's specifically
exclusive.
Y. Yeah. So, and it's only like that because the 3 and the Y have the ventilation system that they have. It's not a vent like any other car. So it's like that, by proxy of the design.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so, that really limits the audience that caps the market for sure. But I'm good with the rate of growth, and I'm good with the customers that I do have and the fan base, and it's pretty cool for me.
Well, speaking of I know what you were saying in terms of like iterations, like do you see like almost like evolving to include other vehicles outside of Tesla?
Yeah, I mean, I think down the line, perhaps. But for now, I think, I need to focus on making what I have even better.
Right.
Increasing retention rate, increasing subscriptions. I need to take a step back and talk to my, existing audience and the customers and see what the improvements are, what people feel about it. And one of the greatest challenges has been, because I only use, natural materials, it's really hard to create something that pleases everyone, and so, that's one of the things that I have to do more R&D on, is to see how I can you know, make it, you know, more airy, because some people want more strength, some people want less strength. So then, you know, adding variations of this is super strong, this is super mild, you know, and something in between. But, you know, it's just at the end of the day, like, you know, I think, you know, you can't make everybody happy with one design, but if you have multiple variations, there's, you know, some happy compromises. But
choices, people have choices.
yeah, but too much choice isn't good either. It creates a lot of confusion. But yeah, I think yeah, creating some amount of choice would definitely be good.
But I tell you
yeah.
what it does eliminate putting the air freshener on the top of your damn screen. I know that. I ain't gonna put that no more if I can get that.
Yeah.
I get my own little scent, like a vanilla scent or frankincense and myrrh scent, because for me as well, scent implies mood. And sometimes I like to be in a chill mood. I don't want I mean, I don't want to be crazy right now. I want to just lay back.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm driving.
Yeah.
I love to drive and cruise and see the countryside and take my time. And I have a good scented car as a part of that experience, man.
Thank you.
For real, man.
Can you say that again? Let me just record that real quick.
Great experience.
That's really what it's all about. I mean, it started for me to, you know, just get rid of the raw egg smell in my car.
Right. Layla.
Yeah, really, yeah. And it's transitioned to something much bigger than I thought. So it's been pretty cool. And, you know, it's very much like, it's cool because I get to have all of the things that I'm interested in converge and be used together, you know, so that was cool. And if it wasn't for Scent Wedge, I wouldn't be in a position to have a laser cutter to make face shields now, you know. So
there you go. Look at that.
Everything works out that way.
Right. That's dope.
Yeah.
So give out the website, your social media and everything. So for the folks that view this, if they want to get in contact with you, if they want to learn more about Scent Wedge, they'll be able to do so.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you go to www.scentwedge.com, and you know the social media is all, you know, at Scent Wedge. So on Instagram, on Twitter, and then my personal Instagram is minimal_duck.
I like that. That's crazy.
And that's how you can find me. I'm pretty active. So
thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
Yeah, man. Chopping it up with us, man. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate it. Yeah, man. Come through
man.
and visit sometime. You know, when all the craziness is over, man, come through.
Yeah.
What's that?
Say what you said, Zane.
Oh no, I said definitely appreciate you taking out your time, like the fella said earlier. Plus, the other thing that intrigued me too is that when you go on Instagram, Tesla has 7.3 million followers, and they only following 17 people, and you were one of them.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a moment of real happiness for me when that happened. I was in shock. I was in real shock, for real. Like I didn't realize. Like yeah.
Yeah, they
like to check now too. Because I don't want to check one day and find out that they unfollowed me. Like that was a lot. You know, so that's But thank you for saying that, because I'm just like, they still follow me. I don't want to check. I'm scared, but yeah.
It's you, Joe Rogan. Huh?
When it happened, I was just completely shocked. Like I was smiling for like a week. I was just like, wow. That's cool.
Well, that's how you know that Scent Wedge has definitely made a difference.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I was happy about that. And most recently too, what happened? I think like a month ago, Elon tweeted a romance mode video that I made.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
And it was fucking. I wasn't even in the conversation. Like I wasn't at it or anything. My friend sent me a screenshot, and I thought it was Photoshop. Yeah. But I did a romance mode commercial with two friends of mine, and the whole premise was, you know, they're at a beautiful view. They turn on romance mode in the car, which like turns on a fireplace, and right before the girlfriend's about to like get on them, he like stops her. He's like, wait, you know, and it's like, it's all designed to think that, okay, he's pulling out, you know, protection or something, but it's really a Scent Wedge packet, you know, he like tears it open and pulls it out and like puts it in, you know, and it ends right there. And it's like, you know, it was pretty funny because he like, you know, he used the emoji of like crying, laughing, and like just that romance mode, and added that video, and it's like, holy shit, like that
you that's how you know you're on the radar.
That's dope. That's dope.
That was yeah.
One more, like the last question for me. Tell us what dog mode is for Tesla.
Yeah.
What's behind that?
Dog mode is a really cool feature that shipped out, you know, probably 6 months after I took delivery of the car. I mean, it was something, so like you always get new features with like updates. That's the other thing that's hella cool is once you connect it to Wi-Fi, the car gets better over time. Dog mode was one of those features. So you can leave your dog in the car and you set the temperature and it maintains that temperature for your dog in the car. Yeah. But it also puts something on the screen that says, you know, my owner will be back soon. Here's the temperature in the car. You know, I'm safe. You know, so it's like, you know, because, you know, you think about it on a hot sunny day, you see a dog in the car, you know.
Struggling.
Yeah, and you break the window to get the dog out. Yeah. You know, so it's like if there's like a little, you know, display that's maintaining temperature in the car, you know, it's definitely a nice value.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite features is dog mode. Because sometimes you go to the park and then you want to go get some groceries on the way back, you know, and if it's a hot day and it's all glass, you know, so it makes a lot of sense to have there. And because it's an electric car, you can do that. You know, there's no engine running. Pretty cool. Pretty nice.
Thanks again. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no, thank you guys. Thank you so much for reaching out and setting this up. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, great discussion.